Hi everyone, let's take a quick look at this tool rack feature. First, open the tool rack, file switching tool rack. Click it to bring up the animation tools. Before we start, let's go over the top toolbar. This one is for switching files. First, open a file. Now switch to the side. Then open another file directly. It remembers the current file name. Once set, just click the switch. It jumps to that file. Hover to see a thumbnail preview. You can see it here. This makes switching really fast. No need to open multiple Macs instances. You can jump back and forth. Now let's look at the top row. This one is Save. It saves all marked open files. An XML file is created. You can save it anywhere. This is a file we saved earlier. Next, let's load this template. For example, if these two files are open, they'll be overwritten. Click Yes and pick the saved file. It gets overwritten. Now you'll see 3 files listed. Alright, the third function shows your recently opened files. Basically a history list. This depends on your Mac's version. One click to open. You'll see thumbnails and file paths. Double-click to open a file. Right-click to open its folder. Quick access to the path. Now switch to number 4. Double-click this one. It doesn't open. That's a version mismatch. This Mac's version can't open it. Try a newer Mac's. Then it should open. That confirms the version issue. So you need a higher Mac's version. Now the fourth function controls the bar length. You can make it very small or stretch it longer. Set it however you like. Next function. This controls how many tabs show. Usually 2 to 4. 4 is the max. That's the current setup. There's also a right-click menu. Right-click any tab. Highlighted options work. Grayed out ones don't. Open works like standard Macs. Same as File Open. Other options behave the same. Files open in the current tab. You can go to Reference and open what you need. Everything's accessible. Alright, reopen. This lets you reopen the file. If you've made some changes and something breaks, but you haven't saved yet, you can simply reopen the current file. This function works the same way. It reloads the active file. Next, we have autosave. Click it, and it turns green. When you modify the file and switch tabs, it saves automatically. Both files are identical. Now, let's create a box here. Alright, when we switch, it asks whether to save. If you click No, it won't be saved. Switch away and back, and it's gone. If you don't want the prompt every time, enable autosave. Alright, switching now. Switching back, you'll see it's saved. The box is still there. If you don't want that behavior, turn off autosave. You'll need to switch to the corresponding option to disable it. Next, this function clears information. It closes the file and clears the information on it. This button closes the menu. The thumbnails above show the status of each file. Now, there's a copy and paste feature. First, switch to this file. This button works as a clipboard. Here you have quick copy and quick paste. Multiple items appear in this list. Select this box and copy it. We'll paste it into this file. Then click Copy. It takes a snapshot and saves it as a Max file. It then appears in this panel. This option is for setting the path. For example, the current save path is here. You can see everything under this path. Open the current path, and you'll find an image and a Max file. Set the path to an external location, and they disappear. Set it back to this path, and they reappear. This button clears all the content here. Everything gets deleted. Here, you can refresh the panel. Now, let's copy this file again. The next two buttons control whether the object is selected after pasting. The second button decides whether to paste at the origin. Different files use different coordinate spaces, so these two options are very useful. If you click Paste with Select and Move to Origin enabled, it pastes at the origin. Now, move this object away. Turn off both options and click again. It pastes at the previous box's position. At this point, you can copy and paste across files. This file will always be available. Now, if we click to select, paste to center, it will paste it here. Of course, you can see it moved to a distant position. If you don't select it or choose to paste to the center, you won't know where it is, because if you previously selected that face, it may appear in other places. You can see that there is actually a significant size difference between them, so these two functions are useful here for quick pasting. There's a quick copy and paste function. If you click this, it will quickly paste. You don't need to open this panel every time. You can just paste, and it will also paste to that position. Of course, it will also appear in this panel's paste function. Now, moving on, there are a few more functions. First is this one. When you activate this, it will remember the current position. The next time you open it, it will return to that position. If you turn it off and close it, when you open it again, it will be in this state. This is a floating state. You can place it below like this. We need to activate it once. It will remember the current position. Now, let's open it again. You can see it appears in that position again. Generally, if it is positioned up and down, this thumbnail will show the overall status position below. Its right-click menu will appear above. After each position switch, you need to click once every time Max opens. As long as this is activated, it will automatically load to the corresponding position. Next is the close function. As long as you click this setting to record the position, it will be recorded here. Earlier, there's another function, which is the display information function, and edges there are, and how many objects are currently selected. In this scene, it will display some information about the scene, such as how many faces. Next is the material. This shows the selected object, how many faces and vertices it has. Alright, when we click, and it lights up, it will keep displaying. When we right-click, it will show some detailed settings. Let's introduce them one by one. It displays the name of the object. We'll open a file with hierarchical relationships. Alright, for example, when we activate this file, the name will be displayed. The one in front is the selection mode. It will only display when you make a selection. This is the name of the object. When you switch to scene mode, the names of all models in the scene will be displayed. If this file is hidden, it won't be visible. You can click on Show Hidden to display the hidden models and their names. Alright, the second one is the model's ID. Its ID is this. This is the default information. This is the name of its parent. For example, this box 003 has a parent named 005. If it has no parent, you'll see an exclamation mark above it. Alright, next is the connection line. You can clearly see which parent it belongs to. A line connects it to its parent. This makes the hierarchy easy to read. Now let's look at this. This shows the total vertex count. Also, after selecting the model, you can see below the total face count. This shows the model's length, width, and height. Overall spatial size. Not the actual object shape, but the dimensions of the bounding frame. Entire scene information. Must be edit poly or edit mesh. Select vertices. Displays coordinates and vertex indices. Commonly used during skinning weight painting development. Select edges. Coordinates of vertices at both ends. ID, edge length, displayed in the middle. Select faces. Distance between vertices. Edge length. Directly visible. Convenient for judging distances. And sequence numbers. No need to query via code or script. Individual face information. Length and width. Spatial volume. Color display function. Custom color. Complementary color own color. Sometimes clearer. Custom color. Any color can be selected. Real-time switching. When not clear enough, use white or black. Settings are automatically remembered. Custom enable or disable options. Pick features yourself. Left-click, show hide. Right-click, detailed settings. Bottom animation toolbar. Display state is automatically remembered. Hidden next time after closing. Remembered at the bottom of the panel. Tool is provided for free. Available after installing NMCraft. No activation required. Can be used in Macs as long as AC is on the computer. Save to lower version. Current file, for example 2022 version. Click Save. Converts to lowest compatible version, for example 2019 version. Right-click Batch Conversion. Current plus all files. Convert to lower version with prompt. Takes longer time. Be careful when there are many files. Left-click. Open current Mac scripts path. Convenient for debugging code. Developer-friendly. Quick display modes. Clay display. Silhouette. Bone wireframe. Quickly set silhouette effect. One-click switch. Bone wireframe. Suitable for BIP operations. Quick switch. Hide models. Hide scene models. Based on edit mesh poly. Hide models. Hide BIP bones. Hide bone skeleton. Lock objects. Lock position rotation. Prevent accidental transforms. Prevent accidental movement when editing rotation or scale. This is the lock objects function. Click to lock unlock. Freeze models. Click or hold to quickly freeze-unfreeze. Pivot adjustment. Move pivot to center, or move to bottom of object. Drop to floor function. Set object Z-axis to 0. Quickly place on ground, reset to origin. Quick set animation frame range. 1 click set total frames. Set to 70 frames. Set to 100 frames. Playback speed, a quarter speed, a half speed, normal speed, 2 speed, 4 speed. Remove 0 weights. Clear weights with no influence during weight painting. Remove redundant data. Remove useless data. Optimize scene file. Above are the bottom toolbar functions. Tool shelf feature introduction complete. Thank you everyone.